Good evening, everyone. It is September 11th, in honor of our 9/11. If you were around on that particular day back in 2001, you probably remember where you were. Sad day for other reasons. I think most everyone probably heard about the murder of Charlie Kirk, senseless murder, I should say. There's a lot of stuff on internet, a lot of different people talking about it. People know a lot more than what I do, but it's hard not to get angry over senseless actions of that nature. To think that we have become as a country individuals, and it's not every individual, it's just a select few, but individuals who cannot reason with each other without taking violent actions of this nature. I mean, killing someone in front of his children and his wife, in front of all the people, just ridiculous. And it's not wrong to be mad. I mean, we should get angry over injustice. And I find it so ironic that the people who claim injustice, the people who are talking about Charlie Kirk as though he was a racist and supremacist, a white supremacist and all these different things, they're the actual ones who are doing it. I've watched Charlie Kirk in numerous debates on YouTube. He's a very gracious person. He's a person who says, if you want to speak, go ahead and speak, and he would come back and dialogue with you. That was the whole point of what he was doing on the campus. He goes to campus and he dialogues with students. What makes people angry in the particular ideology of the gentleman who shot him is that they lose the battle because their positions are not defensible. I'm not a person who is woke in any way, any imagination there. And I may not have agreed with Charlie Kirk on everything. I don't know of anything I didn't agree with him on, but we don't usually agree with everybody on everything. But what happened was just absolutely ridiculous. And it should anger us. I know it's angered a lot of people, especially the people that are now on social media saying somehow he deserved it or he asked for it. He didn't deserve that. He didn't ask for that. It wasn't nothing that he said that was racist. We're just talking, presenting a particular position, and the other side decided to respond with violence. And it's interesting, it's the side, or it's a group of people, I wouldn't say side, it's a group of people that espouse themselves to be the most tolerant, to be individuals who love everyone, embrace everyone, everyone's welcome. But they seem to only side with the people who are committing murders, people that are illegal, people that are raping other individuals, and they never talk about the victims. It's always just, it's the most illogical position I've ever seen a group of people take. As I've said, we have a generation today that is, and it's not just the younger generation. There's a lot of good younger generation, a lot of good millennials. I feel for the millennials. They get beat up all the time. But there's a lot of good people in all generations. There's bad people in all the generations. But we've just lost the sense of being able to talk rationally through things. And it seems as though there's a group of people that just, their understanding of the world, their worldview is based on social media and news sound bites. It's based on what they hear from Facebook. It's based on emotion. Emotions are good, and we need to have emotions. I have emotions. Most people don't think I do, but I do have emotions. Anger is an emotion, so I got that in spades. But we don't need to let emotions rule what we do. There needs to be rationality. I think the Bible calls it a zeal, but not according to knowledge. There's no wisdom in what people do, what they think sometimes. I'm always happy to talk to people. Not necessarily just debate them, but to talk to them. I love to hear what other people have to say, hear what they're thinking. And I'm a person, if you can convince me that I'm wrong and that you're right, if I can see the evidence in it, I'll adopt what you believe. But I've done a lot of study in my life, so I'm pretty sure what I believe is the core tenets of truth and reality is actually true. But we need to be open to be convinced of something else. We should always be open to be convinced. But yeah, it's just a horrible thing that happened. I find myself very fortunate. I get to sit outside here in the backyard, relax with a cigar, hear the crickets, birds. Not in the midst of those violent kind of situations. I see stuff that's all over the world. But it's just ridiculous, the things that are happening. Anyways, I was thinking about the topic. I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were exchanging some questions. And one of the questions that the topics that came up was about our childhoods. And it was interesting because it was like, well, what was your childhood like? And when you look at people, you never know what their childhood was like, good or bad. She was shocked by my childhood. Not really the best one, or the best. But I was shocked at hers because she said she had a very, it was a difficult childhood growing up in her family. And it's always interesting whenever you grow up, you never think that certain things are happening. Other people, they come to school or you meet them at work today. You never have any idea that their life may be falling apart or the challenges that they're facing. Of course, today with certain ideologies, people just look at an individual and by the pigmentation of your skin, they can judge everything about your life. It's either always good or always bad. I think that's such a silly perspective. But you never know what's going on in people's lives. That's one reason why we probably need to be gracious, more gracious than what we are. People having bad days, you see a lot of stuff on YouTube, individuals running into each other and, some of the violence in cars and stuff, the road rage as they called it. And people having bad days, a lot of times we let emotions control us, and then we roll those emotions over to other people. We do things that we shouldn't do, and then other people get hurt. We just make the whole situation worse. It's a very sad day. It's sad about all the things that are going on. It's not just in our culture, but throughout the Western world. Atrocities that happen in the Eastern world, China, North Korea. Things that happen in Africa, the Middle East. It makes you wonder. And it's not that this is new. I mean, if you go back to history, one of the things that we forget is history. We don't value it today. So, as Os Guinness said, we know everything about the last 24 hours. Very little about the last 24 years and nothing about the last 24 centuries. And when you look in the Middle East, a lot of the problems they have go back 24, 25 centuries. I mean, it goes way back 2, 3, 4,000 years as to who owns a particular piece of land, who has the right to that particular land. And we still have battles today with Hamas and other different terrorist organizations, which I find ironic. You've got the people that are in these extremely woke areas and these ideologies that would support the guy who killed Charlie Kirk. And they want to support Hamas. They want to support these terrorist groups. And it's like, if you walked over into Israel where Hamas is and you started chanting with your woke ideology, they would kill you. They don't agree with you. Feminism is not tolerated in these particular groups, these sects, these extreme versions of Islam. But people don't know history. They don't understand even current events. They hear someone, I've always found it interesting, where you had these people that were going, this is a couple months ago, or maybe the last year, we had students on campuses that were protesting. And they asked one of them, I said, what are you protesting? I said, I have no idea. Holding a sign up. They have no idea what they're there for. It's like, how can you protest something that you don't even know what you're doing? It's just a mob mentality. That just seems so odd. That seems to be a change in culture. I mean, when I was young, there was differences. I mean, you had your builders and your boomers, and you had our group, which was the Gen X that was coming up. There were differences of opinions, but I mean, I remember in high school, kids would have fights, fist fights. But no one ever got hurt. I mean, you get hurt from a fist fight, but, a bloody nose or a busted lip or something like that, bruises. But most of the people had a knife on them. Everyone knew enough not to take a knife out and stab someone because of whatever was going on. We park our cars right in the back of the school. The buildings kind of surrounded the parking lot. You could look out there and you could find shotguns in the back. No one's dumb enough to go get a shotgun and go inside and kill anybody. We live in an entirely different world where there's a mentality with a variety of people, regardless of their age. I just don't think. And you want to forgive. You want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but you get to certain actions and it's like, that's something you just don't want to forgive. You don't want to forget it. They're so senseless. Anyways, I wish I had more cheery news. Well, smoking a cigar. Another Kentucky fire cure. That's good news. I've almost finished my greenhouse down there. I have the end to go. I put all the plastic on and I put all the moldings on, so I just have one end to go. And so that's good news. And that kind of wraps up my yard projects for the year. I will be, I think I already told you, building a gaming table. That'll be my next major project. But kind of bring you through some of maybe a time lapse. I'll try to put a time lapse on what we did with the greenhouse down there, so I may do something with the construction project of that. Anyways, I hope all is well. I hope emotions that people are experiencing kind of find their way of expression without being negative, but yeah, I hope that people can just learn to dialogue. I mean, what I would love to see from Charlie Kirk's death is the raising up of multitude of people that would say, I'm willing to do the research, willing to learn the answers, willing to debate, be a voice in the marketplace of ideas. We need that. We need more and more of that. So, anyways, I hope you have a good night, good evening. Hope your weather is as nice as it is here. Of course, we'll get some storms here in a while, but I do wish you well, and we'll talk to you next time.